Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kim Odekoven, Krodesigns. Of course you know that because you're already here. Anyway, I just thought I would pop over and say howdy. Thanks for being patient. I lost my voice for like 2 weeks, got back from vacation, and I am so ready to show you how I set up my goals here in my PowerSheets. I also have my home-based binder. This is just one of those mini binders, this Avery mini binders. I'll do a separate video on that. But I just wanted to show you, I've got my goals in my goals sheet right here, along with a wildcard page pack here on the back. That's how much I love these binders, because you really can chuck a whole lot of fun stuff in here. So moving over to the PowerSheets, well, I have totally set up my goals, and I wanted to show you in this video how I translated from goals to action items. I think a lot of us are like, I've got this goal, I really know what I want to do, but how do I take the steps to get there? And so what I've done is come up with my system using PowerSheets on how I'm going to get my goals done. So just as a flip through here, I've got these, the word of the year, I've got my gratitude, and today is December 31st. Whoop, whoop. So Happy New Year to everybody. This will go live on the 1st, and I really do wish everybody a positive, happy new year for 2020, and brand new decade. I haven't gotten to my vision board because I've got some ideas swirling around, but I do want to share with you my 2020 goals. I've got earn my days to splurge. I've got positive conversations, have fun, growth, declutter, invest the time. And I left some space on here to make modifications on that if I ever do decide to, but I did put a tab here so I can refer back to here. Not that I can't memorize them already. So I've got 6 this year, not 8. I think that's okay. So we're moving on to action plan. So how do I get from my goals to action plan? I'm going to go to my goal number 5. I will show you what I've got for my action plans. I'm just letting you know, for all of my goals, I am really not filling in these 2 areas. What's at stake if I don't start this goal? I'm trying to be positive and thinking about the negative side of being positive isn't working, so I'm just leaving all of that blank. I'm also leaving this notes section down here for refresher ideas for doing them again in the spring and revamping them. So let me go and pull out my everyday line notebook. That's what I've got stored here in my home-based binder. It has colored tabs, and these tabs are just those page flags that I put 2 together, 1 on each side, and they're broken down, of course, by color code. So this is my home one, and that's this action plan for goal 5. They're not in order in here, they're just in color order. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not like totally A++, but if I was thinking ahead before I came up with this concept, I probably would have put my goal number 1 first versus 2, 3, 4, 5, but it doesn't really matter. Moving on. So here is declutter for move, make your house a home. That's really my action plan. And then obviously I've got, excuse me, 3 mini goals down here. I've got it broken down into declutter and clean, move and unpack, and then decorate, make your house a home. So I am going to show you how I'm going to work on my first mini goal for the first quarter of the year. So I have my everyday line notebook, and what I've done here is put obviously my goal at the top, but I also want to break it down into timetables, because I think if you look at the whole thing for a year, it's getting overwhelming. So I've broken it down into what can I do in just January. So I've got my house broken down into zones 1 through 4. And then of course I do have another section in here for my garage sale. And then here are my mini goals, my clean out, unpack, decorate, and move, that sort of thing. So here's my zone 1, how I've gone to declutter into my first zone. So I've got Jack's room, Tyler's room, the little's room, and then the master bath. Okay, and I've done this for all of my different 4 of my zones, because I have those 4 zones, and every month I'm going to do 1 of those zones. So this month I'm going to be working on Jack's room, Tyler's room, little's room, and master bath. When I get to my calendar for January, I'll show you how I set that up to organize myself so I can plan for it. So moving on, I've got zone 4, and now I've got my garage sale. I just have things I need for a garage sale. It's not my first rodeo for garage sale, but I know I wanted to leave some space here for things I might need, and maybe a possible list of items that I want to sell, larger items, not like knickknacks and things. So that's how I do it here. And then once I get to the next mini goal, I'm going to grab my my binder one more time. I have the next everyday line notebook. This is May through August. And so I'll be adding tabs and going from here and making the next breakdown list of my starting steps for moving and unpacking, which is going to be huge. So that I want to keep that in here so I can go ahead and grab it when I'm getting closer towards that scenario. Love my kids. They say scenario all the time. So let's go to another one of my goals. I have my action plan for health. And I want to, go through here and show you how I'm broke that one down as well. This one is not, it is time-based, but it's more inclusive all of the time instead of this huge mini goal, in quarters, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter of the year. This one is more of this goal with this timeline, this goal with this timeline. So I'm going to show you that here in my everyday line notebook as well. And I really love how these work together. I can start brainstorming and putting things in here, and then organizing them and while I put them in here. So I've got my main goals here, and then I have my timetables. Phase 1 is in January, phase 2 is February, phase 3 is March, and then I've got my maintenance plan I've left open here for April and May. So I've broken it down into my 2 phases and move more, eat consciously. So I've got these action steps here. So I can literally almost every day come in here and look and see what I'm working on. I can also look it in here, and then I'll also show you how I've done it for my monthly calendar as well. So yeah, that's basically what it is. I've got them written down here for all the phases, but I'm going to go down to see this self-care. I really haven't talked to you very much about that. That's at the end of this section here. I've broken self-care into months, and every month I'm going to have a focus. Now, my January focus is fashion because a lot of the clothes are on sale. I know I need new shoes and I know I need new tops. And so that's the focus for January. And then I've got hydration, spiritual, abs, butt, thighs, gardens, brains. I try to keep it seasonal. So November is beautifying my home because that's the time of year where, getting ready for the holidays and such, and, garden for May and that sort of thing. So this, I move it into here, and I don't have those starting steps, action plans like January, February, March, that sort of thing. I'm going to focus the internal health, external beauty, and positive thoughts. And all of those are summed up in here with different months. So that's how I've done it. Again, I've done it, this whole thing for all of the goals. So every single one of my goals, I have it laid out. Some have timetables, some don't, just because they're an all-encompassing the entire year thing. So there you go. So moving on to how the month comes together. So I've got my January tab here. I just did one of these postcards here on the front just to celebrate a brand new year. And then I've got my prepare well sheet done, my important to-dos, what I'm excited for January, I'm hopeful, and what's on my mind. I like the fact that she's incorporated this into here. I'm not so sure that I will always utilize some of these boxes, but that's what extra pieces of scrap paper with the gift wrap that she sells in her store. I just put the extra parts in there. So here is the monthly calendar. This monthly calendar is very helpful for me because it shows me whatever I need to do each single week. Now, again, everything is color coded. So I know I'm working on my upstairs this month, and I've broken it down, and they're not in order as they were in here, meaning I have zone 1 is Jack's room. Well, I know that Jack has a few days off of school near the end of the month here. Tyler's going to do his here, and I'm going to work with the littles this week. And then I'm going to work on the master bath this week. So it works in my time schedule, knowing my schedule, what week I want to do these things in. I've got my weigh-in every Monday. I need to my meal prep and shop for these 2 weeks. There are a few things I still have yet to schedule. Schedule the to-dos, these dates with Tyler and Eli, but I pretty much am finished. I even went shopping this morning and got myself a black pair of flats, so I'm all set with that. And so let's turn the page, and I want to show you how we move forward. So in this sheet, I'm going to open this up. This is one of those free pages from the Wildcard online, and I've just enlarged it, and so I punched it and added it to here. All you have to do, and I'll show you that video before, I'll link it down below on how to add pages. And all I've done is taped it to the back side of, it says this page right here has top tending tips, and so I don't need the tending tips, so I've just literally glued it, or used the adhesive tape runner just to tape those together, so I don't have an extra page to worry about. Here is how I want to set up every month's Make What Matters Happen and tending list. Again, I'm only picking 3 every month, and so I have them all written down here, but I've only colored in the 3 goals that I'm going to be focusing on. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to work on the other ones. I'm only going to focus on these 3. And so I've got those laid out here. And this action ideas column is probably what she wants you to do for this action area. Having these ideas of things that you can do action-wise for your goals. And so I love that she has it. I knew that this wasn't going to be big enough, and I wanted to organize it, which is why I did my Everyday Line notebook. Now, what am I going to do with this space now? Well, I've decided to, as I'm moving on, if I haven't, don't have this with me, or I don't know where to place something, I'm just going to have like this brainstorming brain dump spot that goes right there that will be unorganized, but then I can move it into here as need be when I get around to it, because I'll be doing this once a week. And so now is my tending list. I really am going full on with all of these color codes. I really like my muted colors. I don't have them organized. Usually I would have put both of like the greens and the blues together, but I really just went through here, put some action items from my, obviously my like weekly communication night with Jack for my listening, for my investing the time. So I wrote that under my weekly action items. And I do have it color coded, of course, with the same color from the tab. Now, I wish I'd come up with something more exciting for progress, but for my declutter upstairs, I wanted to break it down into 4 slots and that sort of thing. I probably could have done something more than just hashtags, but I've even made some progress here on my YouTube schedule for my 3 channels. And then obviously my self-care, I went and got myself a pair of shoes today, so that was exciting. So let's talk about what's on the other side. So she has, I'm going to flip to February so you can see what it looks like. On the back side of your tending list is this blank sheet that she hopes that you're going to put a wildcard page pack on it. I, on the other hand, am actually going the freebie route. These are the freebie printables on her website, and I will leave the link for that below. But what I've done is weekly wellness tracker. I've got at 1 for every week, and I'm not starting before the 1st. So obviously the 1st, excuse me, is Wednesday. And then I'll have the 2nd, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm going to have to mark so I don't start on Monday. But other than that, I've got these. And all I've done is tiered tape them, which means I just tape them starting with the one on the bottom. I taped that one flat and then just taped the top of each of the other ones just on top using gradation. And then of course I added a little bit of flair. I know that these are going to get a lot of love and attention, and I wanted to make sure they were a little bit more sturdy, so I added a piece of washi tape to the bottom of each of the pages. So it looks cute, and it also serves a purpose. And of course, using her washi progress, you can do it. Healthy reminder for me that I'm making a journey Even though this is not my focus for this month, it's still a part of my goals that I want to have for the entire year. All right, we made it. I tried not to be too long-winded, but if you do have any questions on how I tackle any of them, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions, but I'm so glad you're here. And the next video will probably be this home base binder, and after that I will do a monthly review at the end of January and talk about how my month went. And there you have it. I'm all finished up for this month, and I will see you at the end of the month for an entire review. Thanks so much for stopping, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.